Hello, YouTube. My name is Paul. If this is your first video, I have a few more if you want to check them out on my channel. But my name is Paul Dunn. I'm a clinical psychologist, and I'm also a midlife male. And I've been creating some of these vlogs or videos really to just share some of the learnings that I've gained thus far in my life, as well as some of the things that I've learned being a psychologist and working for years with people that I get to work with, which is a real privilege for me. So today I wanted to focus on how to comfortably reduce fear and anxiety and panic. So I wanted to talk a little bit about fear, anxiety, and panic, and how to comfortably reduce it within yourself. Right now, the hot thing in the news is the coronavirus, and I've watched a lot of videos on YouTube. I highly recommend going to the World Health Organization. They have a lot of great YouTube videos that you could watch, or you could go to their website. But the World Health Organization, WHO, is a trustworthy organization, all right? So they're going to put out good information, and they do not try to create panic. They try to reduce panic by giving good information. So I highly recommend, if you're worried about the coronavirus, check out the WHO, all right, the World Health Organization. On that subject, I did want to mention that, some people are worried about getting the coronavirus, and most likely, most of us will get a strain of it, and 98% of people who get it are going to be totally 100% fine. It's really, there is about a 2% that won't be, but most people will be, all right? So that means you have a 98% chance totally being fine, all right, even if you do get the coronavirus. And the other thing is, keep in mind that cold, sniffles, that's not the coronavirus, all right? Coronavirus, you're going to have a fever and you're going to have a respiratory infection, all right? So keep that in mind. If you're not having those two symptoms, chances are pretty good you don't have the coronavirus, all right? All right, enough said on that. So, fear, panic, and worry. All right, let's just talk about those three words. All right, the first is fear. Fear is a fight or flight response to something that is actually happening. Let's say you're going for a jog in your neighborhood, and you're jogging, and all of a sudden out comes this dog, right? And the dog's growling at you and everything. You're going to feel an instant fear, all right? Because the dog really is there and the dog really is growling at you. And so you're going to feel this adrenaline rush, and, it's going to cause you to, have very quick responses to the situation. So that's fear. Fear is something when there truly is an actual thing happening, a scary thing happening right there in the moment, and you're responding to that, all right? And you don't really want to get rid of that because that's an important way that we protect ourselves, right? Anxiety, though, is very different, all right? Anxiety is thinking about the idea that if I go for a run, possibly there's a good chance that maybe there might be this dog that's going to show up and it's going to growl at me, and oh my goodness. And now all of a sudden I'm feeling like, I don't know if I really want to go for a jog around the neighborhood, So anxiety is thinking about it, so there actually isn't a dog growling at me. It's my thoughts that there might be a dog, and oh my goodness, I couldn't handle that. And then so anxiety is really it's like fear created by our thoughts, our imagination, and here's the deal, folks. Everybody feels anxiety. Anxiety is actually a primal emotion. If you're human, you feel it, and you got to learn how to deal with it, work with it. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about ways of doing that. But I wanted to add one more thing. Panic. The word panic is like uh, feeling fear and feeling anxiety and really like feeling overwhelmed by it. And I work a lot with people that suffer from panic attacks, and typically they're very focused on their bodily sensation. They feel sweat, they feel their heart beating, and their mind starts hyper focusing on the fight or flight response that is going on, and then they start thinking that they're dying or having a heart attack, which is typically never the case. It's really, really, really typically not the case. So they have to learn how to accept panic when it shows up, and recognize that it isn't really there's nothing really to be afraid of, and then they start learning ways of addressing it. All right. So let's talk about anxiety, all right, and ways of reducing anxiety. And remember, anxiety is kind of the fear response to thoughts, all right? So a couple things to keep in mind. One is you have about between 45 and 60,000 thoughts a day, every single day of your life. So this morning, or yesterday, when I woke up and then I went to bed, I thought about, let's say, 60,000 thoughts. That might sound brilliant, right? Unfortunately, most of the thoughts are repetitive thoughts. So most of the thoughts that are going through your mind today are repeated thoughts. You've had them for years. You might have had them since childhood, and they're just thinking in the background. They're just kind of playing in the background. And so that's one thing, is you're going to think about 60,000 thoughts a day, all right? Another thing that the research has shown is that most of the thoughts are negative, unfortunately. So if you're wondering, like, how come I'm so negative all the time, it's because your mind, your brain is constantly thinking these thoughts in the background, and unfortunately, most of them are negative. Now, how do you switch that? One way to switch it is focus on something that you want to achieve, something that you want to do. A couple of years ago, I picked up the guitar, and I committed myself that I want to learn how to play the guitar. And even though it's an effort for me to go practice the guitar, as soon as I'm practicing, I'm having fun because I'm focusing on the song, and the chords and playing the guitar. So it's like all of a sudden my mind is focusing on something, and a lot of the negative thoughts just kind of disappear, because I'm putting attention on something, So that's an important thing to think about. The other thing is accepting that you're going to have these negative thoughts, all right? So throughout today, even after watching this video, you're still going to have some negative and sometimes scary thoughts that just kind of go through your mind. And by thought, I don't just mean words, like you hear me talking to you right now. Sometimes we talk to ourselves and they're thoughts, right? But a lot of times thoughts are images, like little tiny snidbits of a story, or they are rehearsals. Sometimes we're rehearsing how we're going to talk or how we're going to behave. So they're thoughts as well. Sometimes thoughts are just an insight, an idea comes into our mind. So these are all going on all the time, kind of just like flowing through our head. And, you know, uh, they're going to continue. So it's really like accepting that that is part of being a human being, that's part of being alive. All right. Now you might be thinking, yeah, but what do I do when they're really negative and I seem to be struggling with letting them go or laying them down. All right, that's getting into some of the solution, all right, for reducing anxiety. There are some things you can do that will help you. All right. One is if you're anxious about something in particular, let's say the coronavirus has really got you worried, or the stock market, dropping, it's really got you worried. Big thing is go to reputable sources and learn, like information will actually help you because all of a sudden you'll realize like, oh, I can do that. I can wash my hands every half hour if I'm going to be interacting with people. Um, and I can do the right things, the healthy things that would reduce my risk of actually, catching a virus. You can learn how to do that. Um, as far as stock market, it's like you got to look, are you a long-term investor or are you a short-term investor? Do you need the money now or are you saving for the future? Nice thing about, again, being midlife, I've been through a few recessions, and I'm not saying we're in a recession right now, but we might be. I mean, it's about time, about every 10 years we go through a recession. Well, as long as you don't touch your investments unless you need them, you let them ride, and so the price comes down, but then eventually it does start going back up again, and I guarantee you, I mean, right now, some of the top, let's say the coronavirus is kind of causing a stir, in the market. Um, some of the top biopharmaceutical companies are working, competing with rapid speed to create vaccines. They're going to be out, folks. I mean, some of the smartest people in the world are actually working on developing these testing and vaccinations. It's just a matter of time. So you got to trust that. I do. I trust it completely. So, and then all of a sudden businesses start flourishing again and the market goes up again. So keep that in mind, all right? So let's get back to, how to deal with it. So one is to recognize that, you're going to have these anxious thoughts, all right? Two is accepting them, but, and if you've watched some of my other videos, one of the big ways that I work with patients is, or with clients is, through acceptance and commitment therapy, which is a form of cognitive behavior therapy, but I like it even more than the traditional cognitive behavior therapy. And it's basically helping each individual learn to, number one, accept. I'm going to feel all the feelings, good, bad, joy, excitement, love, fear, anxiety, panic. I'm going to feel all of them, all right? And the thousand other various forms of emotions. If I'm alive, which I am, and you are too, I'm going to experience all of these emotions, all right? The other is when I experience one of these emotions, and we're talking about a negative emotion, right? Anxiety. When I experience it, accept it. Oh, I'm feeling anxious. Name it. Know that that's what you're actually experiencing, all right? That's helpful. The other thing is recognize it's not going to kill you. All right, it's just an emotion. So you can feel anxious. It's okay. You're human. The other thing is, as we mentioned, as I was mentioning earlier, try to learn a bit about whatever it is that you're afraid of. And get good information. Because information will help reduce it. The other is if you check out one of my other videos, I focused on daily meditation, all right? And I've been meditating for over 6.5 years, twice a day, every day. And meditation is it's a prayer, it's a contemplative prayer, it's a process, it's an activity that you could do every single day of your life, and it will actually help you learn how to lay down thoughts. And anxious thoughts and emotions are just thoughts. And you learn how to lay them down while you're meditating. So you can meditate for 10 minutes or 20 minutes. I do 20 minutes twice a day. But if you got into the practice of daily meditation, it will actually help you to find peace within yourself and to lay down images and ideas and thoughts of that create anxiety. All right, so check out that video, please. It's on my channel, but it could help you. Okay, the other thing is daily exercise. I know that you hear it all the time, but it's true. Now, here's the thing: when people are in a state of anxiety, they get so focused on what they're afraid of that they don't focus on their health. Going to the gym or doing some yoga. I mean, you could right now, after you're done watching this, you could type in 20-minute beginners yoga on YouTube. You'll get a whole slew, and you could actually be right there in your living room and doing some yoga stretches, which is good for your health, and it will help to reduce your anxiety and your feelings of fear. So meditation, exercise, eating well, drinking lots of water. Like, you really want to fill this body up, hydrate your body with water. The other thing is, I call them healing affirmations, but coming up with a word or a phrase that you currently aren't believing about yourself, that if you believed it, you would feel better. So for example, a nice, healthy belief is, I know how to take care of myself. I know how to take care of myself. All right, that's a good thing to say to yourself. It's a good thing to say to yourself in the morning. It's a good thing to say to yourself whenever you're feeling, a little bit anxious. I know how to take care of myself. I know how to take care of myself. So saying these words or phrases, you're kind of adding it into that 60,000, streaming thoughts that are going through your mind each day. I know how to take care of myself. That's a good thing to say to yourself. Yeah, so there are a couple thoughts, hopefully that you found something in this helpful. Please, if you did, send me a like. Let me know if you liked this and you want more, of these type of videos. Please subscribe if you'd like to get, a heads up when I put out more of these videos. I'm enjoying making them, so I'm going to continue to make them, and I've been getting some nice feedback from people that they've been helpful. So hopefully you find it helpful. Last thing I just want to say is, please remember that you are special. You really are special. Every single person on this planet is a special human being. You are one of them, and you are special. So take care of yourself, all right? And feel calm and at peace, all right? My blessings to you. All right, see ya.